So guess whose face I saw on the Snapchat thing is like, people you may know.
It's no accident that sounds like you're leveling up in a video game. 48% of 18 to 29-year-olds have an online dating profile.
Make them work for it.
45% of people say they're more frustrated with this form of dating than hopeful.
There are so many people you can connect with.
Should I swipe right?
Swipe wrong. Swipe wrong. Setting the record straight on dating apps. Everyday people telling everyday stories of the swipe right world with your host, Koss.
Well, I know he had a good time.
Here we go. So welcome to the Swipe Wrong podcast. You've got Koss kicking it with you guys, and if you haven't figured it out yet, which the next few episodes I'm sure will stamp it, if you think you're the only one that attracts the crazy, you definitely aren't. You're not alone. You're not the only one. Just remember, there's more than enough crazy for all of us to go around. So that being said, definitely when you meet up, or you match up, I should say, with somebody, male, female, whatever, all of the above, non-binary, do background checks. Just don't be afraid. Like, don't think like, and if one of the things that I heard from a couple people that just absolutely like blew me away is from women, and they would say that they would tell a guy that they did a background check on him, and the guys sometimes would get defensive, and I'm like, what the fuck are you getting defensive for, bro? What are you hiding? I mean, if you're getting defensive, chances are you're worried about what they found. I fully, like, I'm like, if a girl does one of them, I'm like, hey, what did it say? Did it catch my DUI back in 2006? What did it say? Where am I at? What's going on? Because, like, what do you got to hide? Except for so many people have something to hide. So definitely do the background checks. Credit Karma, I believe, is one that's free. There's a couple other ones that are out there, but please don't think you're doing anything other than just protecting yourself. And that is probably one of the most important things. And the pursuit of happiness is what the pursuit is. It's a bumpy fucking road sometimes. So here we are. Episode 3. This one was a great one. This is the one that I think I would tell my grandchildren's grandchildren about. There was a story in here. There is a story in here where I'm just like, holy shit. And it kind of happened weird. So it's like a little brother. And we're sitting there and we're talking about his experiences. And when we were done, even a week later, he's like, oh, man, I can't believe I forgot to tell you about the one incident. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he starts to tell me about it. And I'm like, hang on, we got to record. So this kind of like the last episode, you're going to hear you may hear two different types of recordings. You may hear outside and one in a room, and there's probably going to be a little bit of echo. So I apologize. I know the future ones get a little bit better, but I apologize for some of the audio on this one. This one is, like I said, damn. So, I can't intro it anymore. I feel like I'm building up too much. So with that, sit back, relax, enjoy, put your feet up, grab some popcorn, or don't hit the person next to you in traffic, and enjoy Gone Catfishing. And one more word, of course, from the quote-unquote legal department.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions or any entities they represent. This podcast is about dating experiences. It is not to say one dating app is better or worse than another.
How did you end up getting catfished?
So this is probably back, I don't know how many years ago. So I was dating Jen the first time.
Okay.
So it's probably 10 years ago or so.
Okay.
And we had just broken up, and I lived on 86th Street, like Lake Castleton, not Lake Castleton, the place where Holmes used to live.
Oh, I know. You're across from the old Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, literally across the street.
That's Castleton.
So like my move. Yeah. But so my move was to get girls, go there. You know, it'd be easy to go home.
Straight from the Fox and the Hound, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I literally, back then, I didn't like, I would drink a lot more than I used to. So I'm like, I don't like to drink and drive, so I'd always walk home, you know? So I'm like, it's perfect for me, because if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, no big deal. I just walk home, it's across the street, you know? And so at this point, I'm on Tinder, and I swipe right on a beautiful looking chick, like to the point where I'm like, really? Like, it looks a bit fake. And again, this is like before like I had even heard of like what catfishing was.
Okay.
And so I say, hey, I'm gonna go meet you there like at 7 o'clock work, and she's like, yeah. And so I'm like, cool. You know, I get there at 7 o'clock, waiting around, 15 minutes go by. I get back on, because we didn't exchange numbers, which is kind of weird to me, but whatever. Sure. Some people are, different about it, so I'm like, cool. So I get back on Tinder, and I'm like, hey, where you at? I've been waiting here, you know. And biggest pet peeve of mine is for like someone to be like really late to a date. So I'm annoyed, you know. So I'm waiting, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm on 465 right now. There's a lot of traffic. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Right. And so I get a beer, you know, I'm just chilling there. 30 minutes goes by, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? You know, like, yeah. Why are you this late? Traffic's not that bad. It's 7 o'clock, 7:30 now. And she's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I had to stop and get gas. Like, give me another like 30 minutes and I'll be there. And I was like, an hour? And I'm like, no, you know, like not gonna happen. So like at this point, like I'm cashing out and I'm like, I'm leaving. Like, nice talking to you, but this is not my thing. Like, I would just never do that to somebody, you know. Sure. I'd cancel before I tell them to wait somewhere for an hour.
She Francisco'd you. Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. But so I leave, and as I leave, like I'm walking back, she's like, I'm at the bar, where are you at? And I'm like, what is going on? And so turn around, because I'm in the parking lot, you know, walking back, and I go sit down at the bar. There's not a single girl in this bar, because it's Fox and the Hound. They closed for a reason, you know. Like, no one was there. There was like 3 guys, you know, and there are 3 guys, like old guys, like sitting at the bar. I don't know if probably didn't notice the dude, but I think, well, I'll just tell a story. So I leave, and I'm pissed, because I'm like, all right, now I'm being fucked with, you know. So I'm like being like, you know, fuck you. Like, I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but like, this is bullshit. Like, I don't treat people like this. I expect not to be treated like this. Next thing I know, give it like 30 minutes, I get probably 100 text messages from gay people.
What?
Asking where they could meet me for like fellatio and shit like that. I'm not fucking joking, man. And so like, okay, I'm gonna stop walking for a second.
All right.
But yeah, like I was like flabbergasted. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And you know, I was still friends with Jen after we broke up. So I kind of told her what was going on. And she's like, someone put your name on Craigslist or something. And so like, sure enough, I Google my phone number on Craigslist, and it's like, will suck cock. You know,
oh my God.
So this person put an ad on Craigslist, essentially saying I would give free head to people. And so like, I mean 100, I mean like so many. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to change my phone number. Like, this is never gonna end, you know? So I start texting this bitch back. I'm like, what the fuck did you do? Because I gave her my number, because right. I don't have her number, right. You know. So I'm like, what did you do? Why would you do that? Like, what a horrible fucking human being you must be. Like, go kill I think I said go kill yourself, because I was so pissed, and I was like 22, right. You know. But like, it was so bad. It just would not stop for like 3 days straight. Oh. You know, like I tried to email Craigslist, and they didn't do shit, right, obviously. Of course not. But I'm like, I'm just going to change my phone number. But eventually it stopped, so I didn't actually change my phone number.
Oh my God.
So that was like one of the worst things I had experienced online dating way back when. And then now let's just fast forward like 3 years, because the story gets even weirder, because and the reason why I remember this day is because I thought I had lung cancer.
Oh, yeah.
And so I remember I had chest pains, and eventually it didn't turn out to be nothing. Well, actually, it eventually turned out to be I had a broken rib that looked like a a lump in my lung, but apparently it healed funny.
Okay.
So like they gave me like a chest x-ray, and they're like, there's a spot on your lung, and like they kind of insinuated that it was cancer. And I'm like, back then I didn't even smoke or anything, you know, and I don't really, you know, like at least not like cigarettes or anything. So it was kind of weird, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. You know, I'm like freaking out about everything. I remember, like, I think I told Parsons about it too.
I think you told me about it, because this sounds familiar.
Probably.
Yeah.
But, so I was in the hospital for like 3 hours, and they finally gave me like either a CAT scan, CT scan, some kind of scan that actually looked at it. And they're like, yeah, it's part of your rib. And I'm like, oh, you fuckers, you probably should have like led with that. Like, maybe it's not cancer, you know? Because I was like, well, is it cancer? And they're like, it looks like it, you know? Because it just freaked me out. And once I found out it wasn't, and they're like, yeah, you probably broke your ribs. And they're like, you ever have any broken ribs? And I was like, not that I know of, but whatever. And so I decide, like, well, I'm going to get drunk now, because I thought I was dying of cancer.
Sure.
And so we go to Kip's Pub on 96th Street in Allisonville. And me, Petsky, Jenny went, and we were just all having beers, and I was getting drunk, as I used to do frequently. We're playing pool. Like, I remember going to the bar, there's like people up there. This was back when e-cigs first came out, and people would modify them. I don't know if you remember that, but like they would inhale and exhale like a dragon smoke being blown out. It was like crazy shit.
All over the place, yeah.
Yeah, it would go everywhere. And I'm like, me in my drunken state, I'm like, that's fucking cool, you know? And so like, because I didn't ever like smoking, but like when I was drunk, I'd bum a smoke from people all the time back then. So it'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, can I bum a smoke? You know, but in this case, it was like some dude sitting in the bar, and I'm like, what is that? You know? And so I go sit down, and I'm like, I ordered a beer, and I'm just like, what are you smoking? Like, what is that? Is that a cigar? Like, what is that? It was like my first time seeing one of those huge fucking e-cigs that people had. You know, the ones where they pour like the resin in or whatever it is.
Exactly what you're talking about.
But so like he starts talking to me, and he's like, yeah, he's like, it's like an e-cig you can buy online. I modified it so it blows out more vapor. And I'm like, that's so cool, you know. And so I started talking to this guy for a little bit. It's just like I can't remember what he said he did. I don't really remember anything about the dude. But I go back playing pool with Petsky for a while, and at this point I think there was like some chicks involved. So like I think Petsky was trying to hit on him. This is not before. This was before he was married, obviously.
Sure.
But or maybe he wasn't. I don't even know. I got pretty drunk. But I remember going out and literally, as I was outside, the guy was out there smoking. The same dude I was talking about with the e-cig, the crazy one. And I remember him being like, "Yeah, let's exchange numbers. Like, you seem like a cool dude. Let's hang out sometime." You know. And I'm like, "I don't even know you from Adam, but like, sure." You know. And I gave him my phone number, and I remember going back to Petsky's place, and for some reason I remember him cooking us grilled cheeses.
Petsky?
Yeah, okay. It was really weird. And so like, maybe fast forward another 6 months or so, whenever Snapchat comes out, or whenever I get on Snapchat, essentially.
Fair enough.
And so it's kind of weird, because like I didn't think anything of it. I do remember the next day the guy friend requested me on Facebook, and I'm like, I never gave him my last name, and my last name isn't even on Facebook. So I thought it was kind of weird, but maybe through like the number you could do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember him being like, sending me a Facebook message being like, hey, last night was awesome, let's do it again. You know, and I'm like, that's fucking weird. Yeah. At this point I'm like, all right, no. And I just blocked the dude. Yeah. And so anyways, fast forward again 6 months, and then Snapchat first comes out, and I'm like, cool, Snapchat, you know, awesome. And I remember one of the things on Snapchat it would do was access your contacts.
Sure.
Or remember 6 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever the story first started, I had added that person into my contacts as evil person. Like, not just one evils, it was like evil, because they put my phone number on fucking Craigslist. I was pissed.
How did you have their number though? Like, they didn't give you their number, right?
They did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll need to redo that, because I did say they didn't give me their number. They did, but only after I bitched about it.
Okay.
So I did have their number. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's cool.
It was saved in my phone as evil person. And then what Snapchat does is it connects people. So Facebook friends with other things. And I did block the guy, but like it still had all my contacts there. And so guess whose face I saw on the Snapchat thing is like people you may know.
And it was that random dude at a bar, right?
Random dude at a bar. Yeah. No. And it was like 4 years later, 5 years later. I don't even know how many years. Maybe it's like 3 or 4. I think it's 3 or 4 years later. So I see the guy's face on the Snapchat thing, And it's not just like a face. You can do like emojis, not emojis, but he had his face. It was like moving towards the camera.
Oh, okay.
And I remember being like, who the fuck is
Avatars.
that? Avatars, something like that. But it was the guy's face. No, it wasn't an avatar. It was a real picture of him.
Okay. Oh,
That's how I knew.
Okay.
And so like I see the guy's picture on the Snapchat thing, and I'm like, oh no, because at this point he was a Facebook friend. I blocked the guy, or maybe I didn't block him, but maybe I just like never responded to it. I think that's probably more likely.
Right.
I see it as is his picture and it says evil person. And I just freaked the fuck out.
You must have, yeah, so you must have flipped.
I flipped out. I called Petsky. And I never call Petsky, but I'm like, dude, you will never believe what the fuck I just figured out. And I was like, that guy was the dude that I bitched about like 3 years ago, catfishing me.
Oh my God.
The dude's dead.
But how'd you find that out? Like, would you
Petsky stalked the guy.
Did he really?
Because apparently he knew him on Facebook or something. I don't know. Because we all hung out. Like, we were all like kind of hanging out. I don't know if he played pool, but he was like talking with us at one point.
I wonder if he did the same thing to Petsky. Did he,
maybe.
As far as friend requesting?
I don't know. I just remember him being like, so I found the guy. Oh. And he's like, by the way, he's dead. He died of a heart attack.
Holy shit.
But so Petsky went on the guy's Facebook, and apparently it was all about being like this lonely gay guy in Indianapolis. And he's like this fat dude. So apparently what he did was like make up shit, being a beautiful girl. And I really do believe he was one of the 3 guys was at the bar. Because he said he was there,
I see where you're going with that. So when you went back, you looked around.
There's no girls there.
And it could
so I flip out. I'm pissed. I'm like, all right, this bitch is fucking with me now. I think he was one of the guys at the bar. And maybe he was just trying to I don't know what he was trying to do.
Think about that though too. Like if he was one of the guys at the bar, he was probably there the whole time. Like when you walked in,
he might have been. I don't know.
Sitting there, watched you, ordered drinks, and then just, oh my God. Dude.
But because the story spans years. And I'm so sorry that I deleted that literally a month ago or so.
But, oh my God.
Well, if I would have known you were doing the podcast, I would have saved it.
No, that's all right.
But I'm like, it's time.
Yeah.
Because I used to have it on there for dates. When I went on, I told the story, and I'm like, I know it sounds insane, and I know you probably don't believe me. Here's his picture, and here's the evil person. And so I'd show them. They're like, holy shit.
No shit.
But yeah, man. And I'm like, I can't believe that fucking happened. I really can't.
I've heard a lot of stories. I've talked to quite a few people. That might be that is easily the craziest fucking story.
Because it spans years, and I met the dude.
Randomly.
Yeah, randomly.
Just randomly in the bar. There's, in that area, there's at least 15 to 20 bars in a half-a-mile radius. And you happen to be and he happened to be doing something crazy that made you go, let me talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for being along for the ride on the Swipe Wrong podcast, where we take everyday people like you and me telling their everyday stories of their swipe right life. Show is produced by Jay Pelham. He is the host of Pelham Place. If you want to reach out to the show and tell us your story, we'd love to hear it. Give us a call. Google Voice us at 317-426-6616. Leave your information and we'll get back to you, or just your story. You can also email us at swipewrongpod@gmail.com. We are on Insta, Facebook, TikTok. We're out there. I am Chaos, the host of Chaotic Commentary. You can find me pretty much anywhere that you see me. And next week, the saga continues.
Swipe wrong. Swipe wrong.